Welcome back to The Climb is Mine. I'm Shadolina. This podcast is my accountability, a space where I share my wins, losses, and lessons as I grow stronger in my mind, body, and soul. Throughout this year, I have been fighting and working really hard with my sobriety, especially that was my number one goal. And throughout the year, and I know the year is coming to an end, and I wanted to share kind of like what I'm struggling with, even though, as I said, I've been working super hard through the year, even showing up for myself, figuring things out, fighting, to stay sober and to figure out my dreams and my goals. It's a struggle, and I'm still fighting for it every single day. The difference is from the beginning of the year to now is that I have been more aware of how to react and what triggers me and how to take a step back. I definitely notice it sooner, and I'm able to do the work in order for me not to fall back. And I definitely have not allowed alcohol to run my life and drugs the way that it used to. I'm super proud that I'm really just right around the corner for completing my decision that I had made at the beginning of the year. I will say now, the biggest struggle that I have is my mind. It's my biggest battleground in the fact that, negative thoughts consume me constantly. And it's not like I ask for them. They just try to welcome themselves in my mind and try to take over. Lies of doubt, of fear that I'm not enough, that I'm behind on everything that I do, that I'm not smart, that I'm crazy for doing what I'm doing. This is just a season. You're gonna fail. Those old lies that continue to trick me, but I'm not allowing them. But I have to constantly be fighting them. And, here's the thing. I've learned that just because they pop up, I don't allow them to stay. I don't allow those emotions to take over. And I don't let it to take over my emotions, which will turn into my actions. So I stop it right away once it enters my mind. But as I said, it's just something that I'm constantly struggling with. Sobriety has definitely changed everything for me. It's given me a whole different life that I'm learning to adapt, that I'm definitely not used to. When I used to be confronted with any kind of situation, kind of obstacle, confrontation, it was easy to just go and forget and just fall into that trap of, I'm just gonna let my mind go and forget about it by numbing and not taking care of the situation. And it's tough because those emotions are magnified so much when you can't numb it with any medication, any pain. As I said, I don't even smoke pot. I don't do anything. So I'm learning how to definitely control all those emotions, and I'm just blessed, so blessed that I don't crave alcohol anymore. I fought so hard to get where I'm at, years of continual failing, but the one thing is I never gave up. Never gave up. And it was tough because that's all I would think about. It was wanting to drink, wanting to numb. And the fact that it's just weird how I just don't think about it. I think the reason why is because now that I've surpassed it and I know my value and how clear-minded I am and how much I'm changing and evolving, like my mission, my obsession right now is becoming the woman that God has meant me to be, becoming 1% every single day and making a change. Like I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with my freedom to be able to give, to help my family. That's my obsession. Screw alcohol, screw drugs. But I have to continually be thinking about these things, because if I don't, I could fall into that trap and I could drink. So I'm constantly feeding that life into myself of what I want every single day. Affirmations and knowing what I want and so precise from like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and what I need to do in that gap, in those 6 months, years, 2 years. I have it all written down, and I'm on a mission, and I'm such on that mission. That's all I think about. All the drugs and alcohol doesn't even have time for any contemplation, but definitely it has time to maybe think of like negativity and trying to trick me into it. So I have to be on top of it, and yeah, not survival mode, but just trying to, as I said, just keeping myself, just because I know the pain, so much pain that I was in. I no longer want that. I know my worth. So yeah, no time for alcohol. I just want to become the best version of myself, because I know what I'm capable of, and I know that I could change so many people's lives, even if it's one. As I said, what happened to my brother was so heartbreaking to me that I couldn't be there for him, but I could be there for others, and that will keep making me go so that I could continue to help. And first things first is continuing to help myself, make myself stronger, and continue to build myself through all these struggles so that I can be the change. And I know that at times, like even, not through this podcast, just the people that I'm around, I'm positive and I help them and I do influence them, so, and even in the small things. So I'm very grateful, but I just want more change, and I want to change people's lives. I just want to be that light that shines in darkness and so much more. Besides the mental part of it, there's also that procrastination that kicks in. There's that craving for comfort. Because once things get tough, it's easy to crumble and crawl back into that hole and just go back to your old habits, because it's not a challenge and it feels comfortable. So that's something that, I've been struggling, because I'm fighting so hard that my old is just trying to creep up, and obviously the, lies that hold me back at times, that make me think that I'm crazy for what I'm doing and for what I'm fighting for. And it kind of limits myself at times. A few weeks ago, I talked about like how I was just frozen and I couldn't move forward. It was like such horrible like feeling within. I wanted to just even move, and I just felt like frozen, and I wasn't being as productive and taking action. It was basically procrastination, self-sabotage. And I've been working through it and just telling myself that I am safe when I'm going through the progress, because I need to allow myself and let myself know that this is okay. This is the new me. We are moving forward and we are safe in what we're doing. But all this happens, it's just slow progression. You know, I've been doing, the old me has been like this for so long. You know, over 30 years. Yes. It's just, you know, an old hard drive computer that's just been stuck in the old way. So just trying to change that for over so many years, it's hard. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, it takes years to really become that person that's new, that's creative, that's giving, that's loving, that's wants change, and has nothing to do with what was, you know. And yeah, it's something that I have to continue to work on, and as I said, make it like little habits that become little actions that become habits, and those habits will become into discipline, which will allow me to move forward and not really rely on the motivation part of it. Also, comparison also kicks in. You know, comparing myself to other people. Why am I not as successful as them? We can, you know, everybody's definition of success is different as well, but it's easy to compare, like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. So it's something that I work and that I struggle too, because, you know, I'm doing things that sometimes I don't even understand. For instance, like, I'm doing this podcast, and even though I have no views and I have no idea like why I'm doing it or what's gonna, I mean, I know why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for myself most of all, because it's keeping me accountable, and I know that it will change lives and people will listen to this at some point. But I don't know, it's just, it's easy to compare, you know, what I want, all these viewers and all that, and be in a different space, I guess, in regards to that, for sure. But it's not the way that it is, and I just keep pressing record. You know, I just keep doing it no matter what, because at the end of the day, as I said, this is for me. Yeah, that trap of comparison can be super, super dangerous, and I try to stay away from it, because I know that I am created completely different, and everything that I've been in, that's happened in my life, it's happened for a reason, and it's placed me where I am right now. So I try not to play that game whatsoever. And when it creeps up, I put it to a halt immediately, because I am made uniquely. And through all this pain and struggle, I am going to be able, and I'm helping others. And everything has a purpose. Everything is, it's beautiful at the end of the day. It's teaching me so many things, and I'm growing into a completely different person, and I'm evolving. And this journey has been beautiful so far. At times it's been super painful, but it's worth it, and I'll continue to do it. You know, I know where I'm going, I just don't know how I'm gonna get there. I just keep going. It doesn't matter. I just know. So, and then God will just keep on giving me the path to continue to keep pushing and pressing, and not allow myself to compare. And it's not on anybody's time. It's at the right time. So I don't let the devil steal my peace on that aspect. I try not to, even though at times it can. But yeah. So also, you know, fear of the future, of what might happen, not knowing anything. whether I'm doing things right, how everything's gonna turn out. Am I doing the right thing? But now I try not to carry it. I when fear tries to take over me, I literally just pray to God immediately, and I'm like, this is not my burden to handle. I give it to you, Father, and I release it and try to be in non-resistance and don't carry it because it doesn't benefit me whatsoever. I just release it, release, and be in non-resistance as much as possible and just give it to God. Yeah. So the truth isn't really, it's that struggle is, the struggle is hard. I think in any part of when you're trying to like make a change, especially when it's this dramatic and you want it so bad. And I'm just learning how to control and to gauge and to maneuver all these different components. And I'm learning to take a step back and not react, and take breaths and just really evaluate before I decide to take any action. I'm learning to survive without letting fear take over me, and don't let also doubt run the show here. So all this is to say that I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. The only one that's perfect is God. And as long as we're aware of what's going on and we really want to change and be disciplined and have a desire and be very aware, intentional of what's going on, change is possible. But it's just, it's not easy. So those are kind of like those big struggles that I've had, that I'm kind of dealing with, and obviously what I've conquered throughout the year. And most importantly, yes, is that sobriety that's transformed my mind into becoming and fighting so hard for this woman that I want to be. So for that, I am so grateful that I made that decision. That's allowed me to open my mind and to figure all this out. So yeah, it's not about perfection. It's just about knowing what's best for you and trying to make a change and be better in every way that we possibly can. So thanks for climbing with me today. Remember that growth takes work, but it's worth it. So let's keep strengthening our mind, body, and soul. If this message inspired you, please like and subscribe.